relatively short tribute to my uncle. I often question why my cousins and I have the best uncles and aunts in the whole world. I'm not just saying that because I'm here to do a tribute to my uncle. But some years ago, I truly did ponder that thought. I wondered, was it a geographical situation? You know, they were brought up on Indian territory down there in Cloud Creek. I wondered, was it spiritual? I don't know, but this is one thing that I do know. I can contribute to such a phenomenon was a promise. See, somebody prayed and God's promises are true. It was a plan of God for these men to exemplify the characteristics of godliness that we might be blessed by them. So living and growing up in a time when they did, when men of color were looked lesser of honor, kind of like today, except it was legal then, it's not legal now. They exuded greatness. They literally made history that did not make the history books. They knew how to do things. Unlike Trump, I'm going to tell you about some things. They knew carpentry and automotive and engineering. They became entrepreneurs and teachers and preachers. My father once said to me that if it had been a different time and place, that some of your uncles would have been president of the United States. But I wish we had more time. See, these men knew how to be fathers and husbands and uncles and brothers. They knew how to treat women, and they knew how to protect their children. See, we never had that uncle where you had to keep kids away from, if you know what I'm talking about. We were truly blessed. See, they didn't fuss in front of us. They didn't fight in front of us. They didn't drink in front of us. They never argued. They were men of valor, integrity, love, and honor. This is the man I call my Uncle Chris. See, my Uncle Chris, he was humble, kind, and sweet. He had a sweet temperance, goodness. You see, that was the fruit of the Holy Spirit. The fruit that you could only get from the Holy Spirit. My Uncle Chris brought chocolate brothers back in style long before TVs. My Uncle Chris invented swag. Fedora felt hat, suited down, Stacey Adams, and a car that shined like new money. I wish we had more time. Special times in Knott's Berry Farm, panning for gold. I'm talking about the 50s, y'all. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Talking about Disneyland trips on special occasions and cruises to Catalina, and the pike on Sunday afternoons after church. We was dressed to the nines. I thought I was an aristocrat. Surrounded by all of my cousins and my uncles and aunts. The Lord truly had smiled upon us. I just wish we had more time. See, my brother and I went to see him at his fancy senior living home. It was either Christmas or Easter. I don't remember. I'm in my 60s. We stayed behind to hang out with Uncle Chris and Christine because he wanted to show us the place. And we on a tour and everything. And we walk into the lounge where there's a piano. My brother plays keyboard. He got on the keyboard. Uncle Chris said, go ahead, go ahead. Uncle Chris started singing. And then the next thing I know, he crooning. The next thing I know, all the little ladies who miles around in the singing home, here they come. Chris, Chris. I said, my Uncle Chris still got sweat. Uncle Chris wanted PJ to come back and play for the group while he would sing and entertain. And my brother began to make those arrangements. He called the administrators and began to work it out. But my Uncle Chris' mind began to deteriorate more rapidly than we had anticipated. And we weren't able to do that. But that is a visit I hold dear to my heart. I just wish we had more time. See, twilight comes, and Howard Thurman reminds me that a good death is made up of the same elements of a good life. See, a good life is what a man does with the details of living. A life that becomes a deliberate instrument in the hands of God. A good death is where life has been long since accomplished and yielded, where the private will has become infused with the will of God. When the child of God realizes his sonship, this is the confirmation that the Son has of the Father and the Father of the Son. This is to know God and to abide in him forever. I wish we had more time. Uncle Chris, I wish we had more time, but our time is filled with transition. We forget that time runs out for us, that there is never enough time. But I'm grateful that I know that my Uncle Chris abides in a place where there is no time. For to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. Now his Lord has said, Christopher McDaniel, well done, my good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Thank you, Uncle Chris, for being a man of God. I salute you and I applaud you. I just wish we had together more time. Amen.